Welcome back everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, and today we're dealing with the 1995 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra R. Now this has 1017 horsepower, 852 pounds-feet of torque from a 7 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine. The car itself now weighs 2,954 pounds, has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.41 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.49 seconds, and go to a top speed of 243 miles an hour. So we have obviously used this car in how fast will it go. It did have a much larger engine with 1500 horsepower in that series, but for two reasons I have opted for going for this smaller and less powerful engine. And one is control. 1500 horsepower is still at the end of the day a lot on this series. Some cars are able to manage it, some aren't, but the main reason is the fact that it does weigh a lot less than what it did in with that engine. With that engine it weighed 3,138 pounds, and now obviously we weigh 2,954 pounds, so nearly 200 pounds less. And that reduction in weight is obviously going to help because most of that weight was up front. It's already dealing with all-wheel drive, the all-wheel drive system up front as well, so it's already got enough at the end of the day to deal with when it comes to the front end, without having a massive extra weight of an engine up front. And to be honest, the extra power might well just get wasted anyway with it being off-road. So on the whole I feel like we've gone for the more sensible option, but it's still more than 3 times the power it had originally, and well in excess of 200 miles an hour. It should be able to get up to that. So and stat wise it's pretty good as well. Launch, acceleration and overall braking are solid. Off-road capability is reasonable for what is obviously a muscle car. Handling is the only real concern, which again is why I have opted for this smaller engine, because handling was already not great, and it's certainly not going to be good with having an extra 200 pounds up front on the go, along with the all-wheel drive system that it's not meant for. So it's going to be hopefully a more controllable car while also still being pretty quick. And at the end of the day, can't argue with more than 3 times the power that it had originally. As you can see, no slouch whatsoever. It's got fairly good turning. Obviously the all-wheel drive system is going to limit that somewhat, but having that much bigger engine would have limited it further. And obviously at times this course can get tight and twisty, and you want all of the turning ability and agility that you really can get, quite frankly. Plus at the end of the day, with that reduction in weight, regardless of where that weight was, it's still going to make the car more responsive. It'll also help offset any of the reduction in power. Obviously not by a huge margin, because we're still dealing with less than 4. Still dealing with 400 plus extra, less horsepower. So, as per usual when it comes to vehicles on this game and on this series in general, it's just all about compromise and trying to weigh up the positives and the negatives of what upgrades you give a car. So this is the 18th Ford that we've had on this series so far. The XB Falcon GT is still the fastest Ford though, which is in 24th position I believe, so extremely quick for a classic muscle car. But we have found that those kind of cars have been surprisingly quick in general, quite frankly. This is obviously a little bit newer than that XP Falcon. Trimmed a few bushes there. Far from the fastest Ford that we've had, but I am somewhat confident that it wouldn't have been any faster with that extra power from that much larger V8 engine that we've already seen in. How fast will it go? So yeah, 3 minutes 21.384, so far from the fastest Ford. That means we're slower than the XP Falcon GT, the number 4 Focus RS rally car, the Focus ST, the F-150 Raptor R, the Ford Mustang Mach-E 1400 and the Fiesta ST, but we are quicker than the Ford Supervan 4, the Ducati Ford Ecoline Shop Rod, the Bronco Raptor, F-150 Lightning Platinum, the F-150 SVT Lightning, the Transit Supersport van, the Bronco from 2021, the Ducati Ford Super Duty F250 Lariat Transformer, the Super Deluxe Station Wagon, and the F-150 XLT Lariat, which is still the second slowest, while the Super Duty F450 DRW Platinum is the slowest Ford that we've had. So yeah, it's by no means the quickest Ford in any respect, quite frankly, which I guess is no real surprise. Doesn't have the most power, and even though it's more agile than it would have been with that extra power from that bigger engine, it still isn't quite as agile or as powerful as some other cars. And yeah, but still, that puts it also ahead of the likes of a Rivian R1S, a Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, a Celine Sport Truck, a Volkswagen ID4, Lancia Delta HF Integrale, Ferrari SF90 Stradale, and a GMC Cyclone and Typhoon. So quicker than a few off-roaders there as well. So on the whole, fairly solid. Nothing remarkable though, but still an enjoyable car to drive, and a pretty agile one at that. Well, it got up to some decent rates of speed here and there as well. So on the whole, pretty solid, but as far as other Fords go, you can do better. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.